And that's where, when today we're talking about social media, and there is an abundance of examples of how horrific and tone deaf some of our brothers and sisters in the business can be. Going back to, pulling up in a Porsche, in a Mercedes Benz, to the driveway of an open house, slowly exiting the vehicle. Like, it's not Hollywood. If you're pulling up to somebody's house who lost their job and they're selling, you're tone deaf. It doesn't feature the house properly. It makes you look insensitive. So we have to be very careful how we act, react, and position our brands and our businesses to be in sync with market realities.
Mm-hmm.
In the upswing heyday that everything's going great, get flashy. It's not an issue if your brand allows for it. But in a market where so many people are hurt, your message has to be a lot more sensitive to what's happening. And that's how you grow and build a business that's meaningful, because people can understand that you are emotionally connected to the market. You're here to service, and you're here to help them win and navigate it. That's kind of how all this ties in. That's why I brought up the news cycle, because my posts in my marketing plan for this week specifically, we are addressing on Saturday. I have a webinar, for example, for my clients. And on the webinar, we're discussing how to create and how to leverage a down market for buying opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you convert, or how do you educate someone who believes the market is absolutely unstable and volatile? Why would I put my money in real estate and not on Tesla, for example? Why would I do that? And the answer is because real estate is an actual asset that can be controlled by you. You have control over the asset. You do not have control over Elon Musk's actions. He goes sideways again, another 20% plunge. For your real estate asset to go down, you have to do something. Or for it to go up, you can create value. And in a market like this, where there's so much buyer choice, sellers are going to give concessions and price breaks that wouldn't otherwise ever be available.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm speaking to the major urban markets. For anybody in the Midwest, in the southern US, in the smaller markets, you have a lot of stability. Prices don't go up and down a lot. But on the coast, on the East Coast and the West Coast, Texas, Florida, the Sun Belt, prices fluctuate with demand. And we're talking about masses. Like right now, there's a huge Canadian surge of people selling in Florida. Why? Because the US dollar is at 30% higher. It's not because they don't like the United States. They're like, oh my God, the economy is terrible. I can get 30 cents more on the dollar here right now. I'm selling. Well, that created a flood of listings. Our brothers and sisters in Florida are not having a good time right now because they can't sell. They can get listings. But what's the point of a listing if you can't sell it? Brand comes in. So to take this conversation straight to brand, and what today's topic is, I have done this topic probably 2,000 times in the last 5 years. Social media still boggles most people's minds. How to use it, where to get started, how to get consistent on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simply, it should not be this difficult, but it is, because there's so much, again, noise as to what's right, what's wrong, etc. When in doubt about looking for a new business, get on your phone. You can get fancy, but if you just make phone calls, you're going to do business. Does everybody agree? With
100%.
social media, you can get really fancy. You can hire all the people. But if you don't focus on what your message is and be consistent with it, nothing will work. It's a lot simpler than people think.
Yeah.
I personally pay $1,500 a month for somebody to create a few posts per month for me that are on brand that I don't have the time to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can do many variations. You can do it all yourself. You can get your partner, one of your children, if you have older children that understand the tech, to do it for you. But what is your message is the whole point of the exercise.
Yeah.
You guys all know how I feel about dancing TikToks. So if anybody's a big fan of those for real estate, I'm just not going to be your fan, and that's okay too. I find our industry needs seriousness more than ever. Humor is fine. Silliness is not. If you're going to rep somebody for $1 million, if you're going to tell somebody to buy a $250,000 home in Ohio that's going to be worth $350,000 in 5 years from now, you better be able to keep your face straight and do it en masse on social media where everybody can see it instantly. The power of this tool cannot be underrated. People ask, should I go on TikTok? Should I go on Instagram? Should I go on Facebook? Wherever your friends are is where you need to be. If you open a brand new Instagram and you have 17 people on it, there's no point in it. Just call them. But if you know a couple hundred people are going to be on your Facebook account, I think that's very worth it. If you have 3,000 people on LinkedIn because you worked at a bank or at the Board of Education forever and you're networked throughout the city, why wouldn't you be on LinkedIn? Where your entire past follows you. What business do I have to go on Snapchat? That's where my 12-year-old daughter is. She knows how to use it. I don't even know how to use it. So for me to go there, but I know realtors that are making money on Snap because they're 22, 23. They've had it. All their friends are there. Well, now they're snapping and making money on Snap. That's how they communicate. I'm not frowning upon it. What I'm saying is that's not where my audience is. So I'm not jealous of the next social media platform. I don't race to find it. I already have a very established following on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So that's my entire focus. And it's more than I can handle.
Yeah, I think that's an important part of this, right? If you're doing this consistently in the way that you describe in this, then you don't need to do anything else. It's relatively straightforward, right? So, and by the way, before we get into the actual logistics of this, I wanted to mention to everybody that your resource for today includes a couple of things that we won't go into today on the call, but I want to make sure you know is in your resource. You're going to get a social media post planner template, a Canva brand kit setup checklist, a social media engagement script example or two, and you're also going to get a 30-day content idea bank. And what's awesome about that too is that it's actually by category. So you can just replace it with your own language if you wish, but at least we're giving you something that you can get started with. So I just wanted to mention that before we run out of time today. What if it's cool with you? You've really already talked about choosing the right platform, Simeon. Obviously, the simple answer is go where your people live, and that's really what you need to know. I wondered about, though, in terms of content that works, how do you feel about talking about sort of the high performing categories? Because this is what really leads into that 30-day posting model anyway. Do you mind running into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, education is first and foremost. So I believe in proof stacking on social media and actual education. So education and then proof stacking is showing how that works.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to tell people why buying a duplex is a great idea in a neighborhood that just changed their zoning to allow additional dwelling units or laneway homes. What does that mean? That means I can buy a home that has 2 separate doors, 2 different rentals. And right now zoning has changed in the neighborhood and I can put a laneway home on top of it. The difference is massive, meaning that I can buy this, let's call it for $600,000. We can buy a duplex. But for another $150,000, I can build a laneway home. So I bought the duplex for $300,000 a door, for example, to make this simple. And on that same piece of land for $150,000, I can add just another additional unit on it. So that 30% increase in revenue, because now there's 3 properties, contributing to the total. I did it on leveraging the existing land that I did not have to purchase. Now, you being able to interpret that to your audience will show not only how savvy of an investor you are, but how you can create wealth for them by identifying the right properties.
Yeah.
So first you do the education on it, then you show an example of it, and then your call to action would be, are you interested in creating wealth by using real estate as the vehicle? Do you live in downtown New York and want to see properties just like this? You give me a call. If you're an agent wondering how you can do the same thing in your market, always call on me. I'm here for any of my brothers and sisters. What does that say to the consumer? That you're a professional, that you are willing to help another agent. I wasn't just referring you guys to me. I was saying you can say these things in your social media. Share. Don't be a gatekeeper of data. The more you share, the more you're going to get in return. And this is something that is absolutely tried, tested, and true. This is how we got here. Me sharing with you today.
Yeah.
Imagine how many referrals you're going to get. Exactly as many as you're going to give. That's the whole point. And social media amplifies that. So speaking about those topics, I saw a very interesting comment in the chat, and I just want to address it.
Sure.
What's your take on marketing luxury properties? Do you go towards keeping them more exclusive, or wider social media exposure still works better? Always, the wider the net, the higher likelihood you have of selling it. Exclusivity, maybe you can do bonus content as an exclusive and speak about it in your wide one. You know, for those with a client, shoot me a message because I have an exclusive video just for you. For all the wanderers, this is going to be as much as you're going to get. And there's different levels of luxury. If we're talking, basketball player luxury homes, 10 mil plus, those you may not have a choice to put them on the wide network. Meaning your client will say, do not put this on social media because people will know it's my house. So always respecting privacy and kind of where that's going, depending on the level of luxury and level of exclusivity. Wide net is always better for us as agents, but you can always hint at exclusive content and kind of create that FOMO factor.
Yeah. I think the other thing that you can always do too is move them into a community where you share more exclusive stuff in that way. So keep in mind, guys, it's so easy to set up a community. You can do that even if you want. If they're on Facebook, obviously it's super easy. But if they're not, then you'll have to do it a little bit differently. But there's lots of tools out there for ways to do that too. So just push them there if you'd like to. What do you think about the other categories? So we've got 4 more. Do you want to run through those just real quick?
Well, yeah. I have all my notes here, from market education to behind the scenes to success stories. That's the proof side. Behind the scenes kind of shows what your day looks like. And people like that. People really like seeing what other people are doing and how they do it. So that's kind of filler content, but it's important nonetheless if you want to be looked at as a real human, not a fake social media account, right?
How personal do you think people should go, Simeon?
Yeah.
Right. Sorry to interrupt you. How personal do you think people should go with behind the scenes stuff? Because a lot of people, I think, get too personal, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think that's a personal style. If you, again, politics, religion, etc., are a no-no. Always. Opinions on society-splitting things, such as wars, think Russia, Israel, Palestine, off social media. Do not engage in it. If you want to engage in it as a person to take a stand, by all means do. I am referring to your business account, social media.
Right.
It has no place in real estate. Speaking about Israel and Palestine, Russia and Ukraine, pick your subject, has no business when I'm educating my consumer on how to make money in real estate in Houston. It just creates division. It creates presumptions, and you just don't win. So putting real opinion out there is a personal choice for everyone. Other
Mhm.
people build their business with their division and or whatever the case may be. If that's
Right.
who you want to attract and that's what you want your life to be about, by all means. But you're asking for
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion. My opinion stands firm in personal
Mhm.
posts. It should be about maybe your family, about your interests,
Mhm.
fishing, hiking, sport, sharing your family if that's what you want to do, or whatever the case may be, whatever you think people are gonna really enjoy. That's what I believe there.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. So I think that basically, because and that's also your dancing TikTok thing, which I think is also off the table too. But so guys, just so we're clear, market education is one, behind the scenes is another, success stories, which is your proof stacking, local highlights of some kind, coffee shop, parks, restaurants,
Huge.
businesses, all that good stuff is humongous. And then interactive posts like polls and quizzes, or even just, I love the Ask Me Anything model, especially if you've got a good interactive audience. If you're doing stuff where you're not getting any responses to your interactive posts, you can decide when to maybe go deeper on those when you've got a more active community, but they can really create some interesting interaction with your audience too.
Yeah, and I think that's super important.
Yeah.
It lets you be the expert on demand. And you
Hmm.
can even set it up, like for example, on Instagram, Facebook, you can go live
Yeah.
and you can talk about it 2 weeks in advance that on the 15th of the month, I'm going to be going live. I'm asking all my people to be there. Why? Because I
Hmm.
have a lot of new news to share, some exciting things that I'm working on.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with asking for a favor and being there.
Hmm.
People think, oh, it's embarrassing, it's desperate. No, it's not. You're a professional looking for people to take your service. If you're ashamed of your profession or to ask for the business, you have different
Hmm.
problems.
Yeah. I
Remember,
agree.
I beg for my business. I will go somewhere. If I'm not getting what I want, I will beg. I will say, please give me a chance. Maybe I didn't communicate my value proposition correctly. Let me try again. I have nothing to lose. Your ego is not worth $10,000. Remember what people have to do for the money that you earn.
Hmm.
So it's all goes back into your brand and your social strategy. I'm not saying these things for nothing. If you come across as humble, as a hard worker, as all these qualities that I'm emphasizing on, you're going to get the business. If you come across as, I don't need your business, I'm so cool, look at my luxury listing, you'll be stuck with one listing because
Yeah.
everybody's a hater. Remember, take all these things in your mind and turn them into business logic that works for you. That's the
Hmm.
only thing I try to do on Monday mornings. I just at 10:30 I had my own team here and it's the same conversation. I said all our calls this week, remind people of what's happening in the marketplace, invite them to the webinar on Saturday. Even if they're not interested in our services, bring them in. Tell them to just show up because now they get to see my face again. They get to see their agent's face again. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's just repetition scale.
I agree. I agree. A couple other quick things I want to make sure we have time for here. One question that I see a lot that's in the webinar chat as well is related to platform design. Are you posting the same content across three platforms, or are you changing style of the content?
Again, that's I am not Tom Cruise. I just really don't care for getting that granular on each
Yeah.
platform. Um, the format, the only difference in formatting is kind of like the landscape versus vertical. I respect that because the videos do look better on Instagram vertical and on Facebook and LinkedIn
Mhm.
the other way landscape.
Mhm.
But that's about the only rule that I follow across. Like Instagram being visual, LinkedIn being texty. I don't care.
Yeah.
I post my posts are the same. I am who I am, and they work. So my stuff works. Can it be better? I'm sure.
Mhm.
Couldn't anything be better? But I can tell you what I have done extremely well is consistency. And over the last 8 years, I have built a tremendous presence based on my brand. And the only thing it took was consistency. I'm sure there's a truckload of crappy posts. There's an amazing amount of almost viral ones where we got tens of thousands of hits, but who cares?
Yeah.
When I make a post, people react. When I invite people to an event, people come, and that's the essence of it all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, guys, if you go into the resource for this week, you're going to see a posting framework and frequency. This is the 3x3x1 rule.
Yes.
Make sure that you keep like that's good messaging, I think. Like doing it this way, which is basically 3 educational posts, 3 connection posts, and 1 conversion. So
One call to
that's
action.
your
So
goal.
once a week, you remind people who you are. The
Yeah.
rest of the time, we're subtle. We don't ask for business, but at least once a week, at least, you're driving people to do something.
Yep.
Or else people forget what you're about.
For sure. Well,
So,
and you need to ask for the business.
100%. So again, the resources for this week are actually amazing. For anybody who has not been able to stay consistent, if these resources do anything, they will give you the absolute roadmap to becoming consistent. And if you were to take this roadmap and plug it into your AI and say populate 100 more ideas, it doesn't take me or Sabine to do it. Take the actual roadmap that you're getting here, fill it with your ideas first, because you know your audience better than anyone. And when you run out, ask the old Google.
And I gotta say, Simeon, the one thing I would also add is it doesn't need to be more complicated than this resource.
That's it.
I think that's going to throw a lot of people off because it is not complicated. This is a simple, very doable model to be consistent and get stuff out the way that Simeon's describing, that's built his and other businesses the same way. So please don't
And
make it
again,
more
for anybody
complicated.
who wants to see a live example of it, visit my LinkedIn, my
100%.
Instagram, and my Facebook. It's
Yep.
that, like, just all you have to do is write my name into each platform and you'll see it. And it is 100% exactly what is delivered to you, because I just know that to be true. So it's proven, it's practical, and you can make it work for yourself. Because I have to go before noon today, I just want to address a couple of questions that are in the chat. How do I feel about the importance of hashtags? It is my understanding that hashtags have been completely obliterated. Like, they don't actually help your post at all. Between AI searching and algorithm pickups, I really don't know. But like, my content team barely ever uses any hashtags anymore. And it's because they mentioned, I can look into it more, but it's my understanding that they're no longer, people don't search by hashtag. Boosting my post and paying for ads. Is it worth it? Depends on what it is. If we're talking about your listings or your upcoming open house, I think geo-targeting is effective. Depends on your ads, depends on your audience. That's a loaded question. It's more traffic to your stuff. So typically it's a good thing, but I would be budget conscious and very, like, analyze what your ROI expectation is and how that might play into it. But for open houses and listings, can't be that bad to drop $5 a day kind of thing. But yeah,
I have to say, Simeon, on that topic, now that all of the social platforms have so much good AI built into them, they are so good at finding your audience for you that, like, in the past, you used to have to like upload a list and say, you know, things like find these types of people, that sort of thing, for it to really get anywhere quickly. These days, it's so good. To Simeon's point, don't spend a crap load of money if you don't have it. The best idea is to find a few things that are working for you organically and then boost those and let the algorithms play and do it for you.
Agreed 100%. Last but not least, what's your take on Pinterest? Pinterest has had a tremendous rise in traffic. tremendous rise in traffic, and that is because of how searchable that platform has become. The ability to create boards of interest, to just get inspiration, has led the rise in Pinterest for real estate. I have not created or done anything with it personally, so I'm not going to give advice to that, but I will tell you 100% that I know at least 5 or 6 agents, all female. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. All female who have a big presence on Pinterest and have been featured at the brokerage to talk about it. Again, something I can look into a little bit more to bring some insight, or maybe bring a friend who can speak to it directly. But Pinterest, people spend a lot of time on it, researching. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a brilliant idea for those that have crafty friends, decor oriented people. Like it's an inspiration heaven, right? So.
It really is. And maybe we'll go deeper on YouTube too, because I think that's a separate conversation a little bit. But even the hashtag question, I know we don't have time today, so maybe what we'll do is we'll move it into another day. But
Sure.
the platforms have definitely deprioritized them. So we can talk about that a little bit more so you're not wasting a ton of time on that, or at least on certain platforms.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Simeon. I know you got to go. So thank you.
Well, everybody have a great Monday and a great rest of the week. That's what, again, this is all about, is kicking it off the right way. So you have a lot of stuff available to you. It's Monday. You have time to plan it, and put some great posts together and get that phone ringing.
Yeah. Awesome. And everybody have your best week ever. Thank you again, Simeon. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Ciao,
Everyone.
ciao.